Hello everybody, I'm doing our spoiler review of the last episode of Masters of the Air. I would just like to say what a beautiful show that was done very cinematically. I kind of knew it was going to be that way with Spielberg and Tom Hanks attached to produce and they probably were involved creatively as well. Most producers are involved creatively. But yeah, very well done. The ending was just perfect. It was kind of grim a little bit. They basically showed a lot of the prisoner of war stuff and marching for days and guys getting shot and killed, and the other end of it, Rosie was what we thought was captured by the bad guys, but it turned out to be the Russians, who back then were our allies. They didn't start out that way, but the Germans turned on them, and they became our allies by the end of the war, and they helped us win it big time. Their troops helped the Americans win the war, so they brought a lot of that out in this too. That it was the Russians to the rescue. It's a stark contrast to what's going on now with the dictator in Russia. It was basically not a good person. He's evil. So it's very stark contrast to what the Russians are now, and what they've really been throughout the Cold War. I don't understand how that all happened. I mean, I don't know the entire history of the Cold War and how that happened, but something happened where they just totally turned on us and have been basically in a Cold War with us ever since. I would consider it still to be a Cold War. I mean, all that stuff with helping Trump get elected, and Trump is basically a Russian, I don't want to call him operative, but he's like on their side and stuff. So it had all that stuff. It was dark. It had all the stuff about the Russians and the POW camps and stuff, but it seemed like every once in a while a new captured face would go free, and one of the hero characters, if you will, one of the main stars of the they're all heroes really, but you know what I mean. But one of the main stars of the show would show up, and one after the other, and it would just be really like crying moments where you would have tears coming down your eyes, because you'd be like, oh, he made it, Bucky, Buck, Rosie, all those guys, they all make it in the end. I mean, you could just look it up in the history books. It'll tell you which characters made it and which characters didn't. So, but very good show, and had me crying in the end. Definitely, it had me crying in the end. I'm gonna go against the norm with my rating for this, and I am gonna give it a 10 out of a 10. I usually don't do that, but this was just excellent. Spielberg just totally hit a grand slam out of the ballpark with this one. Really good. I mean, there's going to be detractors that didn't like certain things, and I think it was pretty accurate too. If you talk to veterans that are still alive, there are not that many, but the ones that are still alive will tell you that it stayed true to the story and the history and everything. So I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Really, really good episode. Really good ending. Emotional. And then they give you all the stuff about all the characters and what happened to them in real life, and their pictures and stuff in real life. And I gotta say, Crosby, his wife, she was hot. Seriously. She was really good looking. Really pretty. And that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna end it here, guys, and hopefully you all have a good day. Happy Friday.